Well, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox. You're on the show as a one and only JFK. Evening, JFK.
Evening, Oxshare. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. You?
I'm fine, mate. I had the wee jab on Friday.
All right, that'll be you and Bridge sitting together then, eh?
Me and my pal Bridge, we're the Invincibles as it stands just now. Yep, had the jab. So ready to go.
Hopefully, mate, join us. He texts me our own, but you might know already his phone. You know what he's like.
Off.
Aye, good, mate. Good. That's a golden ticket. Was it 3 weeks you've got to wait, and then that's
three to 8 weeks, as far as I know. So let's hope the next golden ticket has got the real McCoy in it. I'm happy, mate. I'm pleased to have got the jab. So
takes pressure off, mate. Takes pressure off.
Does,
mate. Yeah.
Does, mate. It does. Yep.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do, mate. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll get these phone lines open and get people in and have a chat with them. What do you think?
Oh, definitely.
But before we do that, I just want to hear your thoughts. And obviously, I heard for you the United game and obviously the Antwerp game. I've heard for you, but the show hasn't it?
Dundee United game was a masterclass. It was. We could have scored about another 3 or 4, mate. Really pleased. Alan McGregor's reaction to losing the goal. It was a great performance. The Royal Antwerp game was probably one of the most weirdest games I've saw. I thought the first leg was the weirdest I'd saw, but this certainly lived up to the expectations of the first one. Really, really fantastic result, mate, to win it in the style we did, because we did win it in style. I know defensively we let a few goals in there, the 2 legs, but really pleased to go forward into the last 16. And obviously, I think the Slavia Prague is a doable tie. Not getting overconfident, but I think it's a 50-50, and we'll go with that. But things are going good. 7 points to go. Champions, 55. What more can you ask? And I got the wee jab to Tibboot. There you go.
Yeah. Here. The Jaggy Loyal, you and Bridgeman.
The Jaggy Loyal, aye.
Yeah, just before we go, I got sent a wee message from one of your mutual friends. I know he's not a Bonos, but he's one of us in Western Australia.
Yeah, I saw the pictures.
Did you see he made the papers?
He made the papers, aye. Famous Gary, him and his wife Jean. Absolutely fantastic.
I did laugh. Laugh. And well, I've got everybody here. A big shout out to Terry Hamilton over the water. Big Terry, thank you, big man. Love you and miss you dearly.
Yep.
Right, okay. Listen to the show all the time, mate. Just for it. Listen, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
I believe you get through to the lovely receptionist tonight in the way in, JFK, is that correct?
I did, and she was very helpful. I had a couple of wee problems that I needed talked about, and she did help me. You know, it was very kind of her.
Good. See the boy Kent, mate, is he starting to live up to the hype now? Is he all of a sudden
Hello.
Hello, we'll be joined by caller. Evening, caller. Is that Alex?
Hi, mate. Yeah, how are you doing?
All right, mate. Nice to hear from you, mate.
Hey, Alex.
Hiya.
How we doing?
Oh, great, mate. Been a nice day down here today.
Whereabouts are you, mate?
Well, I actually live in Leeds now. I've got my own window cleaning round, so I've been out working a few hours today, getting some sunshine.
Leeds. All
I
right,
was
my
brought up in
nephew
Paisley.
Paisley. I'd rather stay.
Yeah, I
Leeds.
was brought up in Paisley.
I'd rather stay Leeds. What about you, GFK?
I'd rather stay in Leeds, but I've done a bit of window cleaning myself. And I must say that confessions of a window cleaner, Alex, sometimes has got to be kept under wraps, mate, innit?
Oh, definitely. It's a case of I'm saying nothing to you, see my lawyer.
Yeah, definitely. Steam
Well,
your glasses up.
The Confessions of a Window Cleaner. We might turn that into a show. Could be a player, mate.
Yeah, they made it. It was a film with Robin Asquith.
There you go.
JFK went for that part, but he failed.
Warts and all, mate. Warts and all.
That's it, aye.
Let's just say he never measured up.
Never measured up. Yeah.
Right, okay. I'm going to tell this wee story, Alex. You phoned last night after the show was finished, and you got
that's right.
One of our guys, and you had a chat with him. So, but I tell you, you've been listening for a while.
I've listened to it a few times, yeah.
Right.
But
Okay.
I don't know. Something last night just made me ring and see the.
Usually that Smirnoff, it does that for people. Is that right, GFK?
No, I hadn't had a drink. I hadn't had a drink.
All right. Okay, mate. Right. Okay. So the floor's yours, Alex. Ask away.
What do you mean? Am I speaking to fans or whatever?
You're speaking to me and GFK, and you're speaking to approximately 10,000 other Rangers supporters.
All right. Well, what does everybody think in the progress Steven Gerrard has made at Rangers?
I'll let you go first, GFK. And I'll be honest, you had your doubts, GFK.
Yeah, Ali, I don't know how long you've been listening to the show, pal, but I mean, I'd said last season, you know, obviously a lot of Blue Nose are disappointed that we hadn't won anything, and I laid my cards on the table, and I'd said that if Stevie Gerrard didn't win the league this season that we're playing in the new, then I thought then the manager should be changed. I've been made to eat my words, but I thought at the time that was the right thing to say. But I think the progress we've made, Fox, one of the guys on here, my good friend Fox, he'd always maintained there was a 4-year plan.
That's right.
And you had to be given that chance, and he was 100% right. I think the progress we've made is absolutely fantastic. They're talking about Rangers and Steven Gerrard everywhere now, and that can only be good, mate.
That's right. And I think that, you know, you could see in the last couple of seasons we were very capable of beating Celtic, but we were dropping points against teams that we shouldn't have done. Whereas this season, with the additions he's made to the squad, we're not doing that, and that's why we're progressing as well as we are.
Yeah. Is there anything you would change in the squad, Alex? Is there anything that you would say that we could tweak?
The only thing is, I prefer it when Ryan Jack's playing, because it allows Joe Aribo to go that bit further up the field, knowing Jack's behind him.
That must be a Leeds thing. Alex. Andy for Leeds loves Ryan Jack as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a big difference. Steven Gerrard has done brilliant with Morelos, because a lot of managers would have got rid of him, but he showed a lot of patience, and it's starting to come good now, isn't it? His all-round play, even though he's not scoring as many goals, but the whole team is chipping in with goals now, and playing on the European stage seems to suit us a lot better than our own league. Doesn't it?
Yeah, I agree with that, mate. I definitely agree with that. I think the players that the manager's brought in he's bettered the playing personnel season by season. He saw what he needed, and I think that's a model that he's used for what Graham Souness did when he was previously at Ibrox, and obviously at Liverpool, that you've got to build and build and build. And I think that the squad of players, not just the team that we've got, Alex, it's a squad we've got now.
That's right.
You know, because it's a squad game now, isn't it? It's not just the 11. You've got to rely on about 18 players to be there every week for you.
Yeah, especially
the thing with 19. think we've had 19 different scorers, JFK.
19 different scorers this season so far, yep.
I know.
Have a go and see if we
It's
can.
great, isn't it?
Let's see if we
And,
can name them. See if we can name them.
Well, Gold, Barisic,
Barisic,
Goldson, Tavernier,
yep. Young
Ryan Jack,
Patterson, young Patterson.
Aribo, obviously Kent, Morelos, Cedric Kitten, and
Kemar Roof.
Kamar Roof, yeah. Kamar Roof's another one.
Glenn Kamara. Scotty Arfield.
Aribo, yeah.
That's 12. Hollander, did we say him?
Aye,
No,
Hollander
scored, aye.
Hollander scored, isn't he? Yeah,
Aye.
Hollander scored. And that young guy now as well.
Bassey scored. Patterson, Bassey scored in the cup tie, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's 14 we've got 5 to get, JFK. There's a puzzler for you. Stephen Davis has scored.
Stephen Davis has scored.
Hadji.
Jermaine Defoe.
That's right.
Defoe, that's a 19.
That's a 19, Jermaine Defoe.
Aye. Yeah. No bad, eh?
Aye. All round, mate. It's all round. It's an all round game now. I mean, the last 2 seasons, especially last season, we relied on Alfie to score all the goals. And although he's not scoring the goals, I think this is probably his best season out with scoring the goals. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely, because he might not be scoring as many goals, but he's involved in a lot more goals now.
Yep.
And a lot of assists and what have you, and we've had a lot of goals through that, haven't we? And penalty kicks against him.
Yeah.
So he's definitely been great. Well, I just hope he stays next season for a crack at the Champions League, because Steven Gerrard and Rangers took a chance on Morelos when he was an unknown, and we've stuck by him through all his troubles and what have you. And Steven Gerrard has made him into a better player. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And I would like him to show a bit of loyalty to Rangers. I mean, because there's no guarantee, if he went at the end of the season, that go to a club that was going to be playing in the Champions League.
Yeah, he has always maintained, though, Alec, and the fact is, he's always been honest about the he's in for the money, in the sense is that he wants to make sure that his family's secure, and the only reason I think he would go is if the money was far too much for him to refuse, because I think realistically, let's not kid ourselves on, I don't think any of the top 5 or 6 would come in from to guarantee him.
See, when you watch some of the draws, it's some of them are serving if you're worse than Morelos. Anyway, we've been joined by Kenny. Evening, Kenny.
Good evening, Ox. Good evening, JFK.
You Kenny.
Pleasure to have me on. You guys take on again. Listen, I'm just getting back and picking the day right. The title wins right. Get back to 75 right.
Easter Road,
right. 14 years. Big title win at the time. I'm not a kid at the time, right? I've seen all the great wins over the years, but this title win is this one of the most specialist one of all time.
I think so, for the simple reason where we've come from. We were, getting put down to the bottom leagues and coming back up, and everything against us. They tried to finish us, and this will be extra special. I mean, this one is going to stop 10 in a row, the same as the one in 75 did, isn't it?
I think the circumstances behind that. I mean, when they last went in the run, we got to 2 European finals.
That's right.
We won several cups, and we challenged for the league. I think the vast majority of their 9 in a row. JFK, obviously, you are far too young.
One at a
time. Just let us talk, Alec. We'll bring in, and I'll bring in JFK. But me and you are far too young, JFK. But we're both at Easter Road, right? But this one, with the circumstances behind it, I agree with Kerry. JFK, then Alex.
Well, I spoke about this last week, a couple of weeks ago, and I mean, I was there in 75 when Colin scored the header.
Yeah,
And then 87 for me was a great day at Pittodrie. Myself and Oxshire were there.
Doing his first title.
Yeah, he gets sent off that day. But what I would agree with you that because of the circumstances, this one seems more special than in the last ones that we've spoken about. Even the Huddle game. So I think the emotions have all built up inside us, what they did to us, and I think we want to win this more than anything. And it'll be absolutely fantastic. First title in 10 years. And the tears will be flowing, mate. Tears will be flowing.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, and, you know, it was a struggle getting back up through the leagues. You know, it wasn't just that. Even when we get back into the Premier League, we still weren't capable of challenging Celtic because of finances and that. And, like, it wasn't... I think a lot of people thought when we appointed Gerrard, it was a gamble. But it was a gamble worth taking because he was a winner as a player. And I'm glad that the board have stuck by him. And because they can obviously see as well, you know, the potential in it. And the team has been getting better and better. I mean, we should actually have won the League Cup last season.
Oh, we're a good team. I'll tell you what we'll do, Kenny. We'll put it out there. We're going to ask for more callers in 1 second, but we'll put it out there. The question we're asking you tonight, for Kenny, as he's come in and asked us, we've discussed it before. I think we've gave our views before as well, JFK. But
definitely.
Kenny's asking.
I know.
Kenny's asking you, for the listeners out there, to find out, is this the most special? Is it going to be the most special league title ever? On you go, Kenny.
I was got saying auction on 75. I mean, I was there right that day. 14 told you that right. I'm playing football special for I seen the 76, 78 title wins, treble, winning season, 79. Well, we don't like to talk about that one. Then we went in the 80s, and a lot of the money your club had to get in that stadium. Don't forget.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
We've been joined by somebody. I think he's just made it back in for Mass. Evening, Bridgeman.
Famous. I love it. Well said, pal. Well said, yeah.
Rangers for everyone and anyone, JFK.
Is JFK on as well? How you doing, JFK?
All right, Bridgeman. Get your wee bit of biscuit there, aye.
I didn't realise there was a show on last night. And
where have you been? How many lockdown shows have we gone?
Yes, I know. I'm very happy, and I was sitting talking to my wife, and we were really enjoying our ourselves, conversationally speaking, and very good. So unfortunately, I missed your text because I'd switched my phone off, which you guys always ask me to do, and I just switched it back on again, and there it popped. So I'm here now anyway. So my apologies to everybody that's listening. Lateness is wrong.
Thanks for the call. Don't be a stranger. We'll speak to you soon. Right.
Oxshire, I don't know if you saw, pal, but Billy Mack's put up in the lobby that Facebook and YouTube are down.
Oh, the boys will know about that, mate. The boys will be working on that.
Okay.
Terry and Fox. He's had to restart. Problems with Skype because of right, Bridgeman. Kenny's asked us a question. And you maybe have a certain vintage. You remember the 64 treble team, Bridgeman? I'm not being rude when I say that. You remember that side?
64?
Aye.
That would be the famous Richie
treble winning side.
64, I'd be the famous Richie Shearer Caldow.
Craig McKinnon Baxter.
Craig McKinnon and Baxter, Henderson, McMillan, Miller, Brandon, Wilson. Or close to it.
By the way, that's a myth.
Why?
If you actually check how many times that team played together, it's a myth.
Yeah, I think McMillan didn't play as much as a lot of folk thought because he was still working.
If you start dividing it up, who was in, who other played, who didn't play, that team hardly played together. Oh, there you go. Right, the question being asked, Bridge, by Kenny, one of the boys in the call was, is this going to be the best title win ever due to the circumstances? Bridgeman.
Yes.
Bridgeman.
In my opinion, absolutely. 100%. 100%. My nerves are jumping when I think about Rangers at all now, because I really believe this will be earth-shattering. There's lots of people in this country terrified about Rangers winning. I don't know why. Well, we can guess why, but that's what's going to happen. And we are going to change everything. They've a decade and they've done virtually nothing with it other than win their own leagues, which are a setup.
Aye.
So I think this is going to be the biggest and best Rangers League victory or championship win in our history. That's what I think.
I actually think as well it's going to be the start of a new era.
Oh, I like the sound of that. I like the sound of that, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't. I actually, especially with the troubles going on the other side of the city, this isn't just going to be one title win. I actually think it's going to take them a long time to be able to challenge us again. And we're only going to get stronger with the Champions League and all that, aren't we? And at the end of the day, if you're playing regularly in that, with the money that it generates, you can buy better quality players. And it takes a long time to get to that stage, doesn't it?
We need to get there first. Obviously, we need to win the league next year as well. Anyway, we've also been joined by Jamie. Evening, Jamie.
Hi,
Evening, Jamie.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Hi, Jamie.
My point tonight was, I know you were talking about whether this will surpass any other previous title. I'm 30 years of age, and for me, this is the most important one. But
what age, mate? What age?
30.
Did we play football against each other, Jamie?
Get away with you. Listen, shocker.
Oh, brilliant. Aye. I've got tattoos older than that.
Sorry.
What a shocker doing that, I'll tell you.
Carry on, Jamie.
What I was saying is it's probably the most important. I don't know if it'd be the best just because we're really comfortable, but I think it's definitely the most important. And I think we deserve it. You know, like the last few years we've been the only team in Scotland that's really done anything in Europe as well. We deserve to, win this league and go into hopefully the Champions League next season, and then the one beyond that, and hopefully we can see a bit of dominance now.
Well,
just as well, on the point you were talking about the goal scorers, and to be honest, it's probably easier to tell you who's no scored within our first team this season. I think it's only Balogun and the goalkeepers that haven't put the ball in the net.
Yeah.
What I was going to say as well, just a final thing, is it's not just that this season. I think that see our loan players as well that we've loaned out, they've all been involved in taking points off Celtic as well this season.
Yeah.
So you've got McCrory, the brothers there, are taking points off them. Jamie Murphy and Stephen Kelly are the ones that come to mind. And I was thinking, who out of them can come back? I know McCrory's away, but who out of all our loan players can come back and do a job for us next season on our first team?
Yeah.
Well, good point, mate. Good point. Listen, you can only judge, and I think Jamie Murphy, who we all liked on here, and JFK knows him well. I think he was very unlucky in his Rangers career, Jimmy.
Well, he got injured more or less straight away in that artificial pitch, didn't he?
Aye. Just wait to hear your name, Alex, and then we'll bring you in, Jimmy.
What was that? What was that again? You said
about Jamie Murphy.
Well, Jamie Murphy's was a big favourite of mine. You know, he went to the local school here. He went a couple of years above my boy school, Maldiswan. I had a lot of high hopes for Jamie Murphy, and it was just a pity it didn't work for him. Will he return to Rangers at any point? I don't see that happening. I'd like to have saw him getting a better chance than he did, but I think the injury that he got just devastated him. I know that for a fact. So wherever he goes, I wish he'd went to another team rather than the Spoon Burners, but that's where he is. So
he's only there on loan. And you come, Alex, and you come, mate.
All right. Yeah. Is that me you're asking to come back?
Aye.
Yeah. It's, actually, I was sorry to see Ross McCrory go, because I looked at him when he first started, they started playing under Kashina, and I always thought that boy was a future captain of Rangers, and but you can't go against Gerrard's judgment, because he's got most things spot on, hasn't he?
And I'll tell you what, I know a lot of people say that, and a lot of people like Ross. And Ross, the boy we love, Ross the footballer, he's not good enough to be in our team.
No. But you know,
sorry.
You know that I got an inside story on that. No, and I told you, and I'd said on here many months ago that the gaffer wasn't happy for him chapping his door. He kind of pushed to get a game, and I'd said at the time that that his time was at Ibrox was limited. That the gaffer didn't think at that time he was up to the standard that he was looking for, and he was allowed obviously to go. But he chapped the door and asked why he wasn't in the first team squad. Even he felt he deserved a place before others. Steven Gerrard wouldn't suffer that, mate. So that's why he's gone. And I agree with Oxford. I don't think he was Rangers class anyway.
As a boy, loved him as a boy. He started out, he potential. He never moved on. I think one of his things was he never really had a position. I still think the boy's a right back. Playing in midfield, his touch isn't good enough. But that ship sailed. And you come, Ken.
Yeah. I was going back to the Jamie Murphy man. See that time before he got injured, he didn't come on that day. Jamie Murphy was a star man of that team at the time, by the way. You know what I mean? It was a cruciate ligament injury. I mean, I hear that cruciate ligament, we all get back to the 80s with Durant, and I remember watching the game with my daughter. We watched Oregon and this again. And I said, he's out for a year. And I prayed that boy would come back. Jamie Murphy was outstanding at that time, And before Kent, he really was the star of that front line, incidentally, He was so unlucky, you know what I mean? I really, he was one that really got away from us. As for Ross McCrory, I thought he was always better in midfield, right enough, but as you said, JFK, maybe he wasn't the Rangers class, but the Jimmy Murphy one, he's a real tragedy. I just hope Katic recovers for that injury, It's an injury. That's an injury to Rangers Football Club that haunts me. You get back to Durant that day in Aberdeen. That was the beach end that day. Durant, it's an injury. It's a horrible injury. You're out for a year with it, and that's it.
If you're lucky, Kenny. Yeah?
If you're lucky, I know. I just hope Katic, can recover for it. But obviously, things are better than medically wise. Now we're back in the 80s with Durant. I mean, he was out for 3 years. I remember he's returning the reserve game incidentally. I think it was something like 30,000 now. You see him, and it was unbelievable. Durant was the best young midfielder in Britain at that time, without a shadow of a doubt. But that injury, and was the Russian player, it was the one, I can't remember his name. He got it in. Sorry?
Who's that, so?
Yeah, that's right, unbelievable, and it's an injury, it's a horrible, horrible injury, but Jamie Murphy, was that season was outstanding for us. He was our star man,
Can I come in, Alex?
Aye, of course you can, Bridge.
I was just going to say, as far as Jamie Murphy's concerned, everybody knows how I feel about him. I thought he was a smashing player, and he would have been on. I don't think he would have been a first-team pick constantly, but he'd have been in the squad for sure, and on the bench a lot, and coming off the bench and playing. I think he's a smashing player. I don't know how long he would have lasted with that particular injury, having to play the way Rangers play. It's a bit different, ourselves. It's a bit different for Rangers. So, but seriously, I really liked him, and I think I wish him well. Wherever he goes, I wish him well, really, truly. Apart if he goes across the road,
Right, Jamie, I think the boy Kelly, obviously he's young, up at Ross County, rare reviews. He was out to Ayr United, he come back, got a new contract, and then we loaned him to Ross County. So the stepped up his development. He seems to have done okay up there. Played some big matches for them. So I'd watch this space for this boy. I think he could get run about with first team squad next season, Jamie.
I hope he's given a chance. He was the one actually out of the four I mentioned that I thought could come back in. They were a wee bit light at a certain point in the season in the centre of the midfield, and they got a couple of injuries, Arfield and Jack. So that for me was the time to play one of these players. I think we dropped points as well. But hopefully Kelly can come back this season and get involved, or if it's Kai Kennedy, I'd like to see one of the youngsters come through.
Yeah, we've been joined by Tommy from Bognor. Evening, Thomas.
Hello, Ox, how are you? Evening, Bridgeman.
Hi, Thomas, how you doing, bud? All right?
I'm good, guys. Very good, thanks.
Good stuff.
Go on, Tommy.
Just listening,
the floor's yours.
Just listening to what you were saying there, Ox, for the last 10 years. I mean, they might not be significant trophies, but we've now won every trophy that you can compete for in Scotland. Did you know that?
All right, I get what you mean. We won in the Challenge Cup, yeah?
We won the Challenge Cup. We won the third division, second division, championship, the Petrofet Cup. I mean, we must be one of only one club that's won every trophy that you can compete for in Scotland.
It's funny, mate, when we look at our honours, we don't really count them, do we?
and it's like you're saying, I agree with what the guy Kenny was saying. Yes, this is one of the best championships for Rangers for going forward, because it stops their 10 in a row. I remember the 75 one. It stops their 10 in a row. And I think Rangers will build on this. I really believe they'll build on it. As I said to you before, Ox, I think next season you'll see another maybe 4 or 5 new signings coming in. Because if we're in the Champions League next year, which I think we are, Ox, you'll see a different Rangers team again.
I don't think we're in the Champions League, mate. There's a lot of things going to happen.
Oh, is it? Are we still back in the Europa League then?
No. We're in
the Champions League.
The third
qualifying round.
We're in the second qualifying rounds. One away.
I just think you might. I still think you'll sign at least 5 players again, Ox, in the summer. And being the chances of going into the Champions League, players will want to come.
Here. The point that Kenny made about the emotions of this title, Thomas, obviously you're an expat and you're down south, but it's been so. And now people can talk about Rangers, and the bounce is back in their step, no pun intended there.
I just think it's been I agree with what the Bridgeman's saying. Some of the football I've played this year, Ox, has just been absolutely outstanding. I still think, I know you might laugh, but I still think one of the best performances, like somebody was saying, I still think they could have taken about 10 off Ross County at Ibrox, Ox. They've been on 5, but it could have been 10.
Well, there's been some games where we've been, I mean, let's be honest about the Hamilton game was 8-0. I don't think we scored any goals in the last half an hour.
No.
We didn't. Right.
Right, I'm just going to get a last shout out for Alex and Kenny. We'll get that many callers want to come in, mate. I'm just going to say goodnight to Alex and Kenny. Kenny, you come first. A wee shout out.
Right. always a pleasure being on here, by the way, you know. But this team, you know, I get back to say goodbye to early 70s, Barcelona, the whole lot. You've seen them in Europe, 92, 93, it's a great team. But this side are so exciting, so dynamic, free up front. We get by this side, by the way, I think we can go all the way. I'm not just been, you know, a mad Rangers fan, blue spectacles. You know, I think this team can really do well. It's a dramatic end to the season. And I'll leave it at that, man. Pleasure, guys.
Cheers, Kenny.
Right.
Cheers, Kenny.
We are the people.
Definitely.
Alex, first time calling, mate. Hope you enjoyed it. Joining the Bears.
I thought it was great, mate. And I'm quite confident we can get through this round of in the Europa League, because when we go over there for the first leg, they're going to have to come at Rangers to try and get a lead, take the Ibrox. And you wouldn't bet against Rangers scoring, would you? Because it seems to suit us down to the ground, and then into the next round, and it's just a luck of the draw.
Here. Pleasure talking to you, mate. Don't be afraid to call up in the future, mate. Loved you.
I've really enjoyed it, and thank you very much.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, buddy.
Onwards and upwards, eh?
Here.
All right.
We've been joined by Bob Ger. Evening, Bob Ger.
Hello, guys. How you doing? Pleasure to be here again.
Hey, Bob Ger.
I was just saying to Port there when I was sworn. I was just sitting listening to the discussion there. Great, interesting as Anahan as always. You're talking about injuries there, Ox. Do you mind when Lewis McLeod got hurt up the road for me? When a bugbear with me is these damn plastic pitches, mate. And here we face yet another one on Wednesday night, and it worries me playing on these damn plastic pitches. I just don't like them. They should be banned. I'm sure we're all unanimous in that opinion. In our league, as you obviously know, boys, it's littered with these things, and we can't allow any more. They should be banned, these plastic pitches. They're a real bugbear with me.
I agree, Bob Ger. I agree, mate. I agree.
Aye.
Well, we had Boy McLeod, obviously Jamie Murphy, Waghorn, and Kilmarnock as well, you know.
Aye, there's a history. You know, you just, I'm not a physical expert, but you just can't get turned on these things. I think, as I said on a previous show, I had a walk about the one at Falkirk one day, and then that's reputed to be one of the better ones. And I said to myself, this isn't like a real football park for me. I said, I'm afraid that the SFA needs to get its act together. It's either the sand or whatever, and get rid of these things. And if you're going to play in the top flight, well, you're going to have a proper pitch, and they have to fund it for the clubs.
I agree with you. Top flight. How we doing, John?
All right. How you doing?
All right.
I'm just asking, see we've got a great team, man, going. How many boys do you think will come back for it's out in loan?
Well, Jamie just asked that. I think the boy Kelly's got a chance. Obviously, Kai Kennedy, they're hopeful about, and they're going to keep their eye on the goalie, JFK. Yeah? He's still young for a goalkeeper. I believe he had a great save today, mate.
Aye, well, I spoke about that today. I've actually sat and I watched the full 90 minutes today, and Robbie McCrory had a couple of good saves, but what I would say is he was to blame for the goalie, but doing like a sack of tatties. But I still rate him. I still rate him as the future Rangers goalkeeper. Look, we'll probably get Alan McGregor for maybe a season, maybe two. John McLaughlin's a good understudy, but we still need another goalkeeper at Ibrox. The rest who are out on loan, I couldn't rhyme them off the top of my head, but I can't see very many of them coming back to feature in Rangers. I agree. We'll need more players in next season. I would say we would need probably 3 or 4 just to enhance the pool, and then it'll depend who goes, if anybody goes.
I trust McLaughlin too. Man, I think he's a good goalkeeper. And we've got a lot of good players that's out in loan. You know what I mean? They're doing well for the teams that they're playing with.
But are they up to scratch? You know, I mean, there's a lot of big things being said today, and it was a worldly goal. I saw the goal that Jordan Jones scored for Sunderland yesterday, and he got them a 2-2 draw. a lot of people don't agree with me. I still think Jordan Jones should have a future at Ibrox, but then again, that's just my opinion. I would probably bring him back and let him. Edmondson, I'm not so sure about. I definitely think Robbie McCrory another season or two with another team. Livingston's doing well for him. He's now the first choice. The boy Kelly, I think he'll come good. So we just need to wait and see what happens with the gaffer. Let's go. If he needs to bring in a lot of players, these players they'll be surplus to requirements. I think the Edmondsons and probably Jordan Jones, Jamie Murphy. I don't think will come back. We know that Ross McCrory's now a cheap player. So these guys are all gone now. I don't think there'll be many who come back. I would say out them all, a possibility. A slight possibility that Jordan Jones might come back. That's my hope. But definitely Ross McCrory.
I think the same as you, Jordan Jones, because I thought he was good. Apart from the big thing he done at Parkhead, but that's a young boy.
I think that ship sailed, mate. I think if they get an offer for, say, Sunderland or any money at all, I think Jordan will be off JFK.
No, I agree with that in principle, mate. You know, I was just my feeling is I would like to see him come back. I think I can see a good player in him there, but we don't want to get heartbroken a bit. There's other issues there that have been well documented, and it's nothing to do with the COVID. There's been other things that have happened behind us.
I think he's only got a year left in his contract,
and he's only got a year left, so it doesn't look as if Rangers are going to offer him any extension. So you're probably right there, mate. If we get
and does anybody know when this thing's getting taken up at the SFA with Patterson and all that?
It's no when, it's an if, mate. It's a different story for the other two boys. Anyway, we've been joined by Southside. Evening, Southside.
Evening, troops. How's it going?
All right, South.
Going, Mucker, all right?
How's Southside?
Aye, good. I heard Kenny, his question earlier, mate, and it's something I've gave a bit of thought to.
You remember the 64 in that, so you've seen a few yourself, mate.
What a shocker you are, man.
Back anyway, that's for sure. I think I've got a photo of that team, I think, somewhere, but I've gave it a long thought. Don't get me wrong, Pittodrie was an achievement, no. That was a thing, but obviously on occasion when we won it up at the Tatty Dome, that's merely an occasion sort of winning it there. I know it was great, it was brilliant, I was there that day and all that, but I think this one is going to be the special one for where we've came for what they done to us, putting us down the league, all the haters. And remember, we had to build the team back. McCoy's took us so far, and then obviously we had to go with other managers that we had in, going through that. So up to now, and then the rebuild that Stevie G's done that he had to do for the mess that he was left. So, this one probably they thought it'd be a 4-year project as the board gave him the time. We thought it was going to be last season, so we really whetted our appetite for this year. And we just hoped it would have consistency. I think Oye's really hoped that if we proved consistency, we could go in and win it. Obviously, no, it's for as much as what we are now. I never thought that, but that aside, looking at it, I do believe now the more I've thought about it, and I've talked to a few people, my pals and that, and we've spoke about it. Other ones have got different opinions. Some of them say 75 and that. So, but I think this one for me is going to be the best. That's just my opinion.
I'm in your camp, Southside, and usually you speak a lot of sense. Don't let your missus hear I said that. But
I agree, man.
I think
we'll go through the season unbeaten, man.
I think it's just the way we've built it, innit, mate? He wasn't left with a lot, and we've got better and better. The football's been excellent, what we've done in Europe, but the main goal for everybody was get that league title win. That was for Warburton and Cassina and everybody else before them, Murray and that. So been in as managers, Jimmy Nicholl, the lot, for McCoy's left, Stuart McCall's. We've now got a guy who was a world-class player, brought professionalism to the club. It's right throughout the club. We've got a great management team, and you just look at the brand of football that we're watching now. We've not got world-class players, but we've got a unit and a team that works.
Might know of world class players, but they're a right good side. Tommy, and you come, mate. Tommy,
I agree with him there, Ox. I mean, compared to last season, some of the, like I think the boy Kenny said, some of the points that we dropped, silly points. This season we've gone on, we've scraped some wins that have been really good, and I totally agree with him. I think the football we've played this year, Ox, has been absolutely tremendous. I mean, when we lost at Hamilton, and when we beat Hearts and that, and then you see what you're watching now. As I said to you, some of the football I've just played it's just been great to watch, Ox.
I don't think it's just results, JFK. I think Tommy's right. It's the manner we're getting the results.
Aye, as you know, I mean, I'm young enough to go away back to some of the great teams that I saw playing some of the football, and saw great players like Kai Johansson and Orjan Persson. Turn it on at Ibrox against the Smellies, and it was really fantastic.
Yes, Jimmy.
But it's the manner that we're doing it, and that is that.
They never had any league winners medals, did they?
No, it didn't have any league winners medals, but the fact of the matter is it's some of the players that we've seen at Ibrox, and that's something coming on to. Some of the players we've got at Ibrox this season have been fantastic, and the way we're playing our football is brilliant to watch. I mean, myself and Bridgeman, and I think Kenny earlier on. I mean, I grew up with the old 1-2-3-5 system. None of this zonal marking and that. I mean, it was a 2 fullbacks, a midfield, and 3 in the midfield, and 2 wingers, 2 in inside, and the centre forward. And that was the way I watched my football for a lot of years, same as Bridgeman. But as football progressed over the years, we've seen the way it's developed, and Steven Gerrard's got it down to a T this season, mate. He saw his mistakes when he first came, if that's the right word, mistakes, or should I just call them faux pas or errors, and he adjusted the team accordingly. He brought in the right players accordingly.
Right. We'll come across with me. John B. Colin. Evening, Colin.
All right, guys, how you doing?
All right, mate, yourself?
Aye, fine.
Evening, Colin.
What's on your mind, mate?
Just a couple of points, really. First of all, talking about how important this league is, this title. I'm early 30s. I remember the 9 in a row. I remember winning the title at Parkhead. I remember the 50th, the world record. I remember Helicopter Sundays, all the rest of it. This is by far, I mean, this is almost a Hollywood film in my eyes. There's been all these American basketball, baseball. This is the most important. Well,
if they're making a movie,
sorry,
if they're going to make a movie, I think I'll get Brad Pitt to play me.
Well, I'd second that.
Do you know something? I was just thinking there that the one that you'd be best playing you, Oxford, would be Jimmy Cranky.
Yeah, you might be right there, mate.
Oh, Jimmy Cranky.
But in all seriousness, I mean, if you were to go back to 2011 and say, look, your team's going to go down to the lowest tier in Scottish football. You've got to get through the 4th tier, get through the 3rd tier, take a couple of years, get through the Championship, take another couple of years, but win the league. Go back to when you were down there and thinking, we might never ever come back for this. We might never.
Did I say something?
Wait a minute, John. Let him finish.
No, that's basically my point. It's such an impressive achievement, and I don't think it'll be matched.
All right, Colin, cheers. Then you come, John. Then we'll go to South.
It was just thinking, you see, like, talking about bad years and all that, right? See, I'm 50, right? I was here when I was 5-year-old. I was here when the stadium was half empty, when we were getting beat off with stupid teams and all that. That mean? Mm. And we went through all that. Then we started winning everything. No, then we went back to, like, we got put down the leagues and all that. Then now we're going back to where we should be again. Know what I mean? So, been through all that, done all that.
I don't think, I think in my history, I don't think there's ever been circumstances like this, but John, yeah?
I think we're a lot better off now, man, because we're getting the 55. We deserve the 55. We've been shouting about it for 2 years. I thought we deserved it last year, but they gave the league. Know what I mean? So that's just my opinion on everything, but they shouldn't have gave it.
Just ask them the question when they ask who scored the goal when he's won 9 in a row. I can't answer you. Southside, in you come.
I think it's a fact as well, if you take into consideration the financial implications it's had on our football club. I mean, we couldn't even go and buy jerseys, we couldn't buy strips or merchandise because of Mike Ashley, you know. Plus we had no European football for all this length of time, which the club was starved at, us paying money to watch Rangers in Europe, also the TV money you get for it and everything. So if you look at that, so we've had to build this club back as the supporters is going and is filling the stadium, and then at the time the right directors got a hold of the club and got us back to now we're seeing the fruits. So it's going to be some feeling. So that's where we are now. We're getting a bit more financial stability. We're ploughing our money into the club, so it's in good hands, mate. As we know, so that's the way we need to look at it. We're going forward now, and we're not going backwards. Like
fires any more JFK because a few houses had sparks in them.
Oh, nice one.
We're all too excited for the party. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You know, when we get put down to wherever it be, we get voted out of the SPL. And then we get handed over to the SFL, who had their big meeting, blah, blah, blah. Says, we'll take you in, but you're not in the first division. The SPL never expected anything like that. They expected that Rangers just would fit in there and come up again the following season. That's what they thought. And they didn't even last 9 months without the Rangers, TV. The TV monies that Rangers could get, and the SFL went out there and got the contracts and done. And before the Christmas, they started negotiating to change the structure of the leagues and create the whole thing as an SPFL. And Rangers, so they get their TV and media rights and all the rest of it. They came in. Unbelievable.